Hey groupies out there. Okay, this video is where I'm gonna discuss computer Quadrajet carburetors. Okay. And I also have a Quadrajet to reference with that is pre-1990 from one of my 1978 Cadillacs. You know, those were also used on Chevy 350s, a lot of the pickups, same as in the 1980s. Okay, and where I got my education on computer carburetors, I'd never dealt with any of them before until I had to go a full round with the computer Quadrajet on my 1989 Cadillac run. Now that's not that front wheel drive fuel injection. Those were the 89 Cadillac run rear wheel drive. Those had the cast iron V8 engines and still used the same type Quadrajet that was used in the 1960s, 70s, you know, and of course 80s, except they were called computer Quadrajets because they had two electronic gadgets on the front of them. Now, so that there's less or no confusion here, let's signify what is the left side of a carburetor and the right side. Alright. From one mechanic to another, this is already known by us if we're experienced like I am. I've got 48 years hands-on experience. I'm age 63. Hands-on experience. Alright. The left side of your engine would be from standing behind your vehicle, looking at the back window or looking at the tail lights. That would be how left and right is signified. Meaning the left side of the engine is on your left side, the right side on the right side. Or you can configure it like this: from sitting in the driver's seat, looking through the windshield, as to what would be the left side of your engine and the right side of your engine. So, if you're standing in front of the vehicle, pickup or the car or the SUV, and you raise the hood, okay, right would become what was the left. But you have to still think of, when you describe the carburetor or parts of the engine and assembly in general, you're going to have to, like if I'm standing in front of somebody's car and I see a problem with their linkage or their AC diaphragm kick-up valve, I'm going to, if I order the part to fix it for them, I'm going to say, I need this part that mounts to the left side of the carburetor. Even though I'm standing in the front of the car, to the customer, they're going to think, but that's the right side. No, it's not. It's the left from sitting in the driver's seat. This is how we do this, okay? That's what left bank of the engine and right bank of the engine means, okay? Now that we've got that down pat, anytime I say left and right, pretend you're sitting in the driver's seat and what would be your left and right of that particular carburetor on that engine. Alright, now, okay, first off, I'm going to show y'all a model of the Quadrajet. This is off a 78 Cadillac. It's kind of dark and dusty. It's the 4-barrel. Okay, and this one has the electric choke. The 89 Cadillac has the hot air choke. Same assembly. It just has a tube comes up from the intake manifold, so hot air makes the spring open. Even actually, you could fit this on my 89 Cadillac and it would run good with it. Actually, you could. You know, I don't know why I had taken this off one of my Cadillacs, because this has been since, I think, back in the year 1989, I think. I was at my dad's house and changed one of them on one of the 78 Cadillacs we had, you know, but anyway, The computer Quadrajet, like the front of that carburetor, okay, on the right side of the carburetor, usually these are blue, it's a piece of plastic that sticks out, and it's got a plug in it, a two-pronged electrical plug. On the left side, you have a clear or a white piece of plastic sticking out of the top of the carburetor right under the air horn, which is the top, and it's got three prongs where a plug goes into that. Okay, here's what I want to tell y'all people about. Okay, remember what I'm saying, even write it down if you can, because I never make a video unless I'm totally right. Unless I'm totally right. Because I check things out thoroughly. Because see, my cars have to run for me and be dependable for me. So I'm going to be sure about anything before I make a video. If I'm not sure about something, I won't make a video based on a hunch or a suspicion. You know, I'm not going to do that. These are things I've learned for a fact. And I've learned this by going several rounds on this computer Quadrajet on this 89 Cadillac. To where I had to change the accelerator pump. It's a little rod with a spring with a little rubber thing on the bottom. Looks like a plunger, but it's small. You know, and that's what pushes, when you push your accelerator pedal, it pushes it down and squirts gas, you know, into the two front barrels of your carburetor, so your engine will start. And when you accelerate a car, that's what gives it gasoline, so it'll go. Okay. All right, now you have, here's what these two electronic pieces of junk, they're pieces of junk is what they are. They're absolute junk. Totally. Now I'm going to clear up some things. I know a good carburetor man that's right here on YouTube. His name is Tyler's Neighborhood Garage, I think. Oh, he's got knowledge. He's even got lots of carburetors to where he can demonstrate. And he did have a three-part discussion, or three videos, part 1 through part 3, about the computer Quadrajet. But here's something he wasn't sure. He knew about the function, but he wasn't sure if you could just unplug those and run them without those two plugs plugged in. Because he said it might be linked in with your ECC box for your electronic advance. See, like my 89 Cadillac, it doesn't have a vacuum advance on the distributor. It doesn't even have vacuum weights inside of the distributor. It's totally 100% electronic. Alright. And his thought was you might have to change to a distributor with vacuum advance. Okay. From experimenting for my own benefit, here's what I've discovered. No, you do not have to change your distributor to a vacuum advance. You can keep using your original distributor without the mechanical vacuum advance, that the advance is controlled by your electronic command control box in that vehicle on these cars 1980 to 1989 that I know of. Okay. And you can unplug those two sensors. Okay, here's what those two pieces of junk are that plug onto the front of those Quadrajets. Here's what they are, people. First off, the one on the left. Now remember, I told y'all how to signify left from right. Alright, the one on the left that's got three prongs, it plugs in. That is called, they call that the throttle position sensor. TPS is shorthand for throttle position sensor. It is not a TPS at all. That is a lie. It's not a TPS. Now, the unit on my 2002 Ford truck, that's a TPS. The one on my 98 Dodge Ram pickup, that is a TPS. But the one on that Quadrajet carburetor, that is not a throttle position sensor, people. Here's what that is. It's a trigger for the mixture solenoid, the two-prong plug gadget that plugs into the right. What that does, okay, it has a pin in it. I wished I had one in here to demonstrate, but it's a very simple. It's about the same circumference as a size 9A battery, I think, and it's about that long, you know, and it has a metal pin on it. Looks like it's made out of steel. Okay, and then in the air horn under the lever that your accelerator linkage pushes your accelerator pump rod down, there's a small round shaft that goes up behind that lever, finger-shaped lever that pushes down. I can demonstrate that on this carburetor. See, this little lever right here that pushes down your accelerator pump. See, and the linkage has to activate that, you know. Alright, well these, it has a little rod that comes up right here, and it's supposed to push it up to make it idle faster, or go down so it idles less. No it doesn't. No it doesn't. Because first off, that TPS sensor and that little chrome needle isn't strong enough to manipulate that. What that really is when you accelerate that car or decelerate that car, it is a switch. It's a switch to where the linkage up there, it pushes the needle down in that unit, and then that gives an electronic signal for the mixture solenoid, which pushes your metering rods down in your fuel bowl, you know, which is your power piston with the two needles, and it has it's built similar to what they call that TPS, but it has a needle on it, and it pushes the top of your power piston down, pushing the needles down in your fuel bowl, your metering rods there. Alright, and what this is supposed to do is when you accelerate or decelerate, to close your metering rods to where gasoline doesn't go into your intake manifold, to save you gasoline. It was a stunt. Okay, and see, here's where it screws up everything. Because while you're driving, this part that's called the TPS, it can keep triggering back and forth. Every time you ease up on your gas pedal or you give it a little more gas, that piece of shit, pardon my language, but it's true, it's a piece of fucking shit, that activates that solenoid on the right side of the carburetor to push your metering rods down to starve your engine for fuel. And what this will cause on these vehicles from 1981, it may have been 80, but 1981 to 1989, here's some symptoms you'll have. Your engine, when it's idle, will go, that's called surging. Okay, what's happening, that piece of junk that they call a TPS, it's activating back and forth constantly, to where that this stupid mixture solenoid is constantly pushing your power piston in your float bowl up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So here's what the solution is. Take your hands, unplug them both. Unplug them both. Alright. They are active, so you don't want them to be hanging out there where they can touch metal. Wrap them up in some quality black tape and tie strap them away from any metal so that they won't be touching any metal in the future. Just tape them up. Alright, now what this will cause, your engine light's going to come on your dash. But in your state, Here, that's exempt, even if the engine light is on, like in my '89 Cadillac. But whenever you go to inspect it, just simply plug them back in to get the car inspected. But as soon as you're through getting it inspected, unplug those son of a bitches. Because all they do is cause trouble. Because see, those carburetors, that accelerator pump, and those metering rods, that power piston, they still work independently, same as they did in the 1960s and the 1970s. And those don't need a throttle position sensor. Even if it had it on there, it doesn't need it. Let me tell you why. Because it has a mechanical idle adjustment. Plus, here's another beautiful thing about it. The vacuum diaphragm air conditioner bump up rod is by the accelerator. Let's see if this carburetor they still got. No, someone took it off there. Me, I guess. Okay, I might have put it on the new carburetor I put on that car back then. Okay. It mounts on the left side of that carburetor so that when you turn your air conditioner on, the vacuum, okay, of that diaphragm, it works in reverse. Instead of pulling the rod towards itself, when you turn on that AC, what it does, it pushes that rod out to raise your idle. So why in the hell would you need a throttle position sensor? But see, here's the thing about it, and this is something I wish I could get Tyler's attention, because this would be valuable for Tyler to know. He's good at this stuff. I would love to share this knowledge with, but I can't if he doesn't answer my messages. I hope he does, because see, I can help him know about this, because if he investigates it on a running car, he's going to find out that I'm right about what I'm saying. And right now, my '89 Cadillac Brougham, both of those pieces of shit are unplugged. My problem, after I changed my accelerator pump, the engine would go, Okay, so I unplugged that dumbass TPS, it's called, on the left upper side of that carburetor. Alright, then it would run good. But then when the engine would be cold, I'd go to start it, and I'd pump it and get it started, and it's like 3 cylinders were missing, of course, and I'd have to keep gradually bumping that gas pedal to keep it going, because it wouldn't idle on its own. So it wouldn't even idle on its own. And okay, I got a friend to sit in there and tap that accelerator to make it idle. When it did that yesterday, I unplugged that piece of shit 2-prong plug that goes to that mixture solenoid, and you know that shit quit immediately. See, what it was doing, it was pushing the metering rods up and down, up and down, up and down, to where that the only gasoline the engine was getting on cold startup is what the accelerator pump was pushing through the front 2 barrels. But to idle, you know, you got to have your idling jets have to be open. Those metering rods have to be all the way to the top for that engine to idle on its own without the engine shutting off. And that piece of shit, see what it was doing, it was pushing my power piston down, is what it was causing. So I unplugged it and no problem. And I know that doesn't affect your timing advance mechanism. It does not affect that, because with or without those idiot sensors plugged in, I can have that car idling at 550 RPM. And I can raise it up 300 and go every minute, and then keep raising it up to 2500 RPM. There is no shake or irregularity. The engine will be perfectly smooth. Then I can drop the accelerator rapidly, and the engine falls back to a smooth, steady idle. I can also take and do a fast acceleration, to where the engine does not stumble and there's no hesitation. So that does not need those idiot plugs. Unplug them, people. Unplug them. If you're having trouble getting your idle right, or whatever, unplug those pieces of shit. And if you want to raise your idle on those carburetors, don't try to get a screwdriver and adjust that screw on the left side that's down by the intake manifold that you can't get to it. Don't do that. That bump up switch for the AC that's up there by your accelerator up by the top, unscrew it from standing in front of the car, screw it counterclockwise, that'll raise your idle. Screw it to the right, it'll lower your roll. It's that simple, people. It's that simple. But this information will help you if you've listened to me. It will help you. And if you want to go put a conventional carburetor on there, you know, that isn't called the computer carburetor, you can do that on those. It's not going to alterate your timing or harm any of that. You're not going to have to change your distributor, okay? Because I've tried all this out. I've checked it. Everything is A-okay, like on mine. But since I unplugged both of those dummy gadgets, the car is running right. You know, it's just those things, they got old. And I learned something, that the one on the left, front of that carburetor, it's called the TPS, throttle position sensor, is not a throttle position sensor. It's a throttle position reader circuit is what it is. It's whatever level you've got the car accelerated, it manipulates the switch on the right front of the carburetor, you know, called the mixture solenoid, to open and close your metering rods in your fuel bowl. Which is bullshit. That was only supposed to save you gasoline, but has nothing to do with the performance or how well that car runs. So if you're having a problem, if you're not having a problem, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Don't fix what's not broke. That's my golden rule. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't ever just pull stunts on cars. Don't do that. If a car's running, leave it the fuck alone. Only fix something if it's not acting right. But while you're fixing something, educate yourself. Educate yourself. Other things on a car to check. Check for things that can go wrong. That can go wrong. But this can help you people. And like most of my videos, nobody fucking listens because, and I've said this before, you know, I can give some massive advice to people, help people out a lot. You know, even to changing a battery on late model cars without having to reset your ready monitors or reset your radio and seat position adjustments, you know. But, you know, people don't listen. They want to be dumb. Go ahead. Go ahead. Or you can listen. And you can use my hands-on experience for your benefit. But anyway, later gators, and have a great night or great day, whatever it is for you. Bye-bye for now.